Hello, welcome to Excel Basic Math Functions Part 5. In this video, we'll learn about three functions, absolute, floor, and ceiling functions. Now let's understand what these functions are. The absolute function returns the absolute value of that number. So if you have a negative number or a negative integer, it removes the negative sign. So that is what absolute formula will give you. And the floor function will round to the nearest multiple of significance, and the ceiling will rounds up to the nearest multiple of significance. So the syntax for this floor is equal to floor, and within the parenthesis you have to enter the reference number, the reference cell, and give the significance, the multiple of significance number, whether it's one or two, whether in what multiples you want. If you want in the multiples of two, multiples of three, or multiples of five, like that. And the ceiling number also is going to have the same syntax with the number and the significance argument. Now, significance argument rounds the number down to the nearest integer, which is a multiple of the significance specified. So we will understand this entire description by doing the formulas here in a better way. Now coming to absolute so let's do the formula. Enter is equal to, and then press BS, and you will get this option, and click on that option, and now the parenthesis automatically inserted, and give the reference cell, which is your A13, and close the parenthesis, and then press enter. So you have this, the negative sign is removed, and the absolute number is returned. Now let's copy down the formula by dragging it down. Now here, so all the negative numbers which are there, the negative sign is removed, and we are getting the absolute values of these numbers. Now let's do the floor function is equal to floor. So we have said that the floor function is going to round down to the nearest integer, which is a multiple of significance. Here we'll write the floor, okay, and then within the parenthesis, we will take the reference cell, and since we want uh, in a positive, in an integer as a whole number, we'll just put 1 as a multiple of significance, and enter. So here we are getting 13. But what we have told here is floor function will round down to the nearest multiple. But here it is not rounding down, but instead of getting 12, we are getting minus 13. And let's see what happens with ceiling when you're taking a minus number or a negative number is equal to ceiling, and open parenthesis, take the cell, and give the multiple of 1. Okay. Second argument, significance is multiple of 1, and close the parenthesis and press enter. Now here the ceiling is giving the result of minus 12. Here, what we have described in the earlier definition, that floor function is going to round down, whereas ceiling function is going to round up. But we have a catch here. If you can understand that minus 13 value is a lower number compared to minus 12. So it is functioning in the right way, but you will feel that it is rounding up the number because it's functioning in the right way. The minus 13 is always lesser than minus 12. So it is rounding down. So it will take it, floor function will take it, if it is a negative number, it will take that number to a more negative number. And if it is a ceiling, it will take to a less negative number. Okay, because it is rounding up, it will take to a less negative number. But if you want, what if we take what if we take the absolute value of the positive integer instead of taking this negative value? So let's take this, the positive number is equal to floor here, and let's take the reference cell of the absolute, which is B13, and let's put the multiple of 1 as significance, and just press enter. Now you can see that what we have described in the formula, that the floor function is going to round down. So if the 12.7 has been rounded to 12. And let's see the ceiling function is equal to ceiling, and open parenthesis and take the reference cell from the absolute column, which is B13, and then give the multiple of 1 as significance and press enter. Now here we are getting the ceiling as 30. So these numbers are quite acting in a opposite manner, but the value of the floor and ceiling in the negative number is it is rounding down. Minus 13 means it is lesser value when compared to minus 12, and ceiling has rounded up because minus 12 is a higher number when compared to minus 12.7. Now let's see with the other, what's the result with the other numbers. So we'll copy down the formula by double clicking the left mouse button, and so we have got here. So in the here, so all the minus numbers in the floor are towards more negative number, minus 9, minus 8.9 becomes more negative, minus 9, and the ceiling number becomes more lesser negative, that is minus 8. And here also, if we are having this minus 3.3, if you're using floor, it is going to become minus 4, which is more farther or more negative than the minus 3.3, and ceiling will lessen the negativity, right? Negative number. So the lesser negative number is minus 3. Now, if you're working on a positive number, then we will get, let's copy down this formula and for floor and ceiling, and let's drag this formula down. So here we are getting, we are taking the absolute column here and as a reference for the reference range. And here we are getting the floor as rounding down to 12 and ceiling as rounding down to 13. In similar way, we'll copy down this formula. So please remember that the floor and ceiling will act in a slightly tricky way when you're doing with the negative numbers. If you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section. I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to the channel.